Akora is trash. It was from the start. Fuck Akora. I'm glad that the game has died. Hey guys and girls, Poketing King here, back with another video. Today we're going to talk about Kickstarter TCGs and whether or not that model is dead. So obviously the recent announcement of Akora ending a season production of future sets. There'll be a thing up here as I always do the videos, going through the post that Xeon made in the Discord. Saying that the game, the new set didn't sell enough, or the pre-orders for the new set didn't sell enough, and that they aren't going to be producing any more cards anymore, which is a shame for those that collected Akora. I don't think anyone played it. I backed the Kickstarter, and it was a game from the start that was always going to be rocky. I think they were selling test prints that they made specifically to be test prints, so are they really test prints then? They were selling their own graded cards, like promos, before the game came out, which was sus, and giving some away. Again, if you're grading your own cards that you're making before your own game is out, that to me is like a red flag. Like, okay, that's a bit strange there. I'm not sure that that's okay. And that was a red flag already. And just the professionalism of the way that the game was, the sort of company. We didn't really know very much about them, really, honestly. This was their first thing. But yeah, so it was a case of like, I did the Kickstarter, I sold very early on. As soon as the stuff came out, I was like, yeah, sell. Because I have, some of the cards look really nice, but I had zero faith that this game would be existing in 5 years' time. And we're a couple of years ahead now. I think we're like sort of two to 3 years. And the game stopped. I think they did well to continue, but if one pre-order of a set doesn't do well and that's enough for you to close, clearly the red flags were there already. I remember them doing a video trailer, and it was like kind of a RuneScape style thing, and it was like a big reveal. I think I don't know if it was the first edition or it was just their main. It was like a big reveal thing, and I remember watching that thinking, I could have made better, or I could have paid a 10-year-old 10 quid and a couple of Freddos, and he would have done a better job. It was abysmal. I remember sharing it in a group chat thinking, boys, this this ain't good. This is not good. It was embarrassing. I think they've since removed that, because I tried looking for it recently and I couldn't find it, so I guess they perhaps removed that. I'm not sure. But the signs there were early on for Akora. And a lot of these Kickstarter TCGs, the signs are there. If you have a bad feeling that it is potentially too inorganic, the same feeling that I had with Metazoo, and that's why I didn't get involved. I know Metazoo is a lot bigger. Akora was, a British TCG. Metazoo was global. Kind of. I know they did the Sanrio stuff, and they were going to do the Arby's collab and all that stuff. Again, it couldn't save it. But Metazoo was far worse. Obviously, you had people involved that should not be involved. It's dodgy. You had Gary, the King Pokemon. I'm not a fan of him at all. I don't think he brings anything to the table other than sob stories about his kid. And then you had that DJ Aoki or whatever. Like, I'm sure he enjoys cards, but it was dodgy. The way the whole thing was, it was a rug pull. It was proven to be that. I'm not even going to talk about Mike Waddle, because it upsets me. It makes me angry. Purely for the fact that so many people were just blindsided by it. And it does show that you can make a product, and you can basically scam people very easily, and that's what Metazoo was, one big giant scam for millions. And then the best thing was, he obviously went quiet. Obviously, loads of people lost money through pre-orders or whatnot and stuff like that. But then he came back and was like, I need you to pay court fees, so I'm going to sell some original art, which wasn't original. They just made it just to sell, and call it original. And then, loads of people bought it. So it shows the yeah, that was a common L for the MetaZoo community. And I know people that have collected and do collect still and really enjoy it or play it with, family. And that's, I understand that. The game won't die. Games don't just die. If you've been in any of the dead CCG or TCG groups on Facebook, you've seen that the games don't die, right? I'm still part of a Discord and Facebook group for the Lord of the Rings TCG by Decipher. I've spoken about this before on the channel. I'm also in other groups, is it Yu Hashuko? And just various TCGs that, Harry Potter, the TCG still has a following. So they do. It won't just go. And I'm sure the same with MetaZoo. And that's why you've seen on the prices haven't really dropped on a lot of it. And actually sales are consistent now. Because, people are like, well, the game's done now, so there's not going to be any more printed. This makes it rarer. And I guess to an extent, right, but things are only worth whatever people will pay. So there were enough people during MetaZoo being alive, buying, then there will be, after it's dead, the game will still be collected and, shared and bought and sold. And that will happen with Akora most likely. Maybe not to the extent, but some of those promos still, might fetch a good amount of money. Through people that just enjoy the cards and kind of want to continue that. But are Kickstarters really have they got a future? Because we've got games like Grand Archive was a Kickstarter TCG, another one that I backed. They're still going right now. They seem to be doing okay. It seems to be doing quite well in America. I think it's doing all right in Asia. The scene in the UK is quite small, but it does exist. I know Living Realms do events for it. So it does have a following, and that's good to see. And I think with a lot of this, you're always going to have that absolute steep hype at the top. You're always going to have it go absolutely burr, and people are going to be going to the moon, tendies, stonks, whatever. And then you're going to see this crash down afterwards. But with Grand Archive, I feel like it was just kind of a steady drop, and it's just steady now. And that's great to see, because I think the cards are really nice. Them doing the SPs, they're doing a kind of Weiss sort of feel for it. I think the cards look really good. I've got some cards here, but like up there behind me, and some over there, Grand Archive. So I've held on to some bits, not very much. I sold all my sealed items. Actually, I sold my last Kickstarter deck last week, I think, for like £85. So they did all right. They held value. So the game is doing all right, which is great. Obviously, you've got Sorcery. You've got the Arturian Legends coming out. That's the next set. I sold my last box of Sorcery as well. I think that sold for £190. So I opened the one box, and I thought about opening more, but I ended up just selling them. Because there's not a place ready to sell singles in the UK. I've listed some on my website, nothing's happened. I tried selling some on Facebook. But there's enough people in the UK buying and selling for there to be a presence. And I know stores are starting to do events for it. Obviously, I guess there's no product right now, so I'm not sure the difficulty. This is the problem with games. After the first initial hype is that you are left with no product. How can a game grow and continue? And people can defend it and say, well, yeah, but there's enough people, can share cards about a bit. But people want to crack packs. People want to open packs. It's that simple. So we'll see kind of what happens in the next set of Sorcery. But I think Sorcery will do all right for the next few years. We've got upcoming games like Altered, which is, backed by Asmodee and Game Genic. I actually did a demo for it at UK Games Expo, which was enjoyable. I enjoyed playing it. I think it was a fun game. Different dynamic, different kind of way of playing, versus standing card games. I'm still unsure about the is it the NFT, the QR code kind of thing, the way that it works. But I've got the Kickstarter for that ordered anyway. I think it's the summer it comes out. I'm not entirely sure. I know it got pushed back. The pushing back thing doesn't bother me. I think it's pretty standard and accepted. New companies are always going to have expectations and ETAs, and sometimes they don't follow that or reach that. And that's fine. I think that, as long as they are sort of honest and open about it, I think most TCG Kickstarters have also done the same. So interested to see what happens with Altered. That could be good. We've also got Oshi Push, which is from Japan. Is it Japan Anime Games? I saw them at UK Games Expo as well. I think I've got promo packs from them somewhere. They might be round here. Yes, that's some Grand Archive stuff. I've just got... There we are. So many cards. Oh. So yeah, these are... I don't know if that's going to show it. Oshi Push. I didn't back the Kickstarter. It actually ended just a few days ago, I believe. It's VTubers, so it might do okay. I don't know. They raised, last time I checked, they had 4 days left, and it raised like a 3 million. So I think it did all right. It's an established company. These are the pre-debut packs, so I'll just hold on to those and see what happens, honestly. But do Kickstarter TCGs have a future? It really is an interesting one, because I feel like the hype has died for a lot of them, but at the same time, Alter did really well. That sold out ridiculously quick. Obviously, Oshi Push has done all right, and I know there are others as well. I think Warlord is coming back. I don't know too much about that. I just have seen people in Discord talk about that. Obviously, you got Cryptic. I think they're doing another set. That seems to still be alive. I don't really hear very much about it, but I do hear the odd mumblings here and there. So I think Kickstarter TCGs, it's definitely one of those that you have to be careful with. I wouldn't necessarily say I definitely won't back more, but I feel like we're coming towards the end of the life cycle of Kickstarter TCGs. One thing that annoyed me was that Flesh and Blood got compared to them. It's always Flesh and Blood, compared to Metazoo. And Fab came out, 2018 really, we had these first cards printed, like for the Aora decks, but 2019 was when Fab came out, which was pre-Kickstarter TCGs, and it wasn't a Kickstarter, it was funded, obviously, by investors and stuff, but by LSS, obviously James White and the team. So it was very, annoying to see them compared, and we're on to our 14th set, I guess, if you count the history packs and stuff. And that's doing really well. I mean, Heavy Hitters is getting a Japanese release now, which is amazing, because Mistveil has sold out in Japan, which is fantastic. But, Kickstarter TCG, I think it's one of those that initial bit is always going to be, the investor bros wanting to make a quick buck. And, I've put money into Kickstarter TCGs. I've backed quite a lot of them, and I've never not made money off them. So it's a model that has worked for the last few years, but it'll work until it doesn't, and then there'll be one game that, it comes out and everything just crashes instantly, and people will lose money, and then it'll be like, well, fuck. Is this sustainable? And I guess the good question really, like anything in life, is it sustainable? Can this continue? And, with the movements that we see in the markets across all TCGs, I don't think it will be. I think we're still a bit far off it not being, because, we've still got the bubble. I think we're still in a bubble where people are happy to chuck money at things and just hope it works until proven wrong. And, for the short-term flips, people haven't been proven wrong yet. Long-term, perhaps. People that were holding on to cases of Metazoo, maybe. I know even during Metazoo's life cycle, most of the boxes were getting discounted for nothing. Akora, you can buy boxes of the first set in first edition for £5. So, and that's the thing, right? You can open boxes and have a little bit of fun, and get cheap packs, and that's great. I love cheap packs. I'm a cardboard DJ, and I love the shiny cardboard, and I'm always opening stuff, and that's great. But I think just need to be a little bit careful now, maybe treading the waters a little bit more lighter than we have done previously, because I feel like it is going to happen, and people are going to get absolutely rinsed, and it's where people are not going to see it coming. So there's kind of a little talk about Kickstarter TCGs. Basically, Akora is trash. It was from the start. Fuck Akora. I'm glad that the game has died, honestly. I'm sorry for those in the comments that are going to be commenting saying, oh, but I love the game. Like, I'm really sorry to see it go. I don't care. I don't care. Same as Metazoo. I don't care. The warning signs were there. That's on you. At the end of the day, that's the way the cookie crumbles. So thank you all for watching. Please comment, like, and subscribe. As always, hit the notification bell for all the videos. I've still got more UK Games Expo content coming up. Depending on when this comes up, I've got a reel of the Flesh and Blood display coming up. Then I've got ones for like other card games and stuff. So trying to get out as much of the content as I can. Trying to get back into the rhythm. Now we're sort of consistent with the content. So, and as always, have a great day unless you collect Metazoo.